Hello, Morgan.
Hello, hi Robin.
Not spoke to you for about 7 years.
It's great that you finally.
Awesome. Nice to have you. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Good. Right, so who have we got here? Darcy as well. We've got a few people from the site and a couple of guests. So I'm just going to give it another 30 seconds if that's all right, just for anyone else wants to join.
Yeah, of course.
Crack on. Mhm.
I'm not used to a Q&A where I can't see people.
Yeah, they're a bit, it's been like this all day. They're all really shy and they don't speak the type.
Well, usually I'm used to seeing people in front of me, so
Yeah.
but this is
Well,
great.
I'll probably have some questions for you, and some of them might stop being shy and turn the cameras on, but we'll see. I saw your interview with Ben. That seemed to go really well.
Yeah, it was great. He was so thoughtful. It's really sweet.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Right. Who else has joined? Hetty. Hello, Hetty. Hello, Sarah, Shema, Holly, Darcy, Gruer. Any relation, Morgan?
To Darcy? Yeah, it's my sister. That's my little sister. Hi, Darcy.
Hi.
Superb.
He is chiming in from Alaska.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, pretty far.
Right.
I'm excited that there's a virtual screening because I couldn't go to the in-person ones.
Yeah, there's no plane tickets, no queuing for this one. You don't even have to move. It's great. Well, I've been doing this for about 8 hours, so I do need to move at some point.
Yeah, yeah, go for a walk.
Right, I'll share my screen. Number two, we're going to sound. You all see that black screen with my little arrow on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Right. So everybody doesn't know who's in the chat, who's listening. This is Morgan Gruer. She was with us in the festival. I think it was the third one with a couple of animations, and you used to sort of add animation to live action, didn't you? I think that's where you won a prize with us for like contributing to that sort of thing to animation and live action. Now you're doing just live action with this one. So hopefully, if you all get any questions, this young talented lady. It's been 7 years. We've got her back, and it's a bit of a corker this one. So I'm hoping you're going to all enjoy it. Just under 10 minutes. I mean, if anyone's got a question, you can write it or you can speak up. And while you're all decided, I'm going to ask you a quick question, Morgan. Like, I suppose two questions really. One is, um, how do you react seeing it? I mean, you must have watched this film hundreds of times, but what's it like watching it, like with an audience like this?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it so many times at this point. I think you get a little bit desensitized to your own work, but I'm always so grateful for people to watch it with other people in the same room or the same virtual room. I think film is a medium that should be shared. I know it's really easy to watch things at home on Netflix by yourself, but
Yeah.
it takes so many people to make a film, and so to be able to watch it in a room with a ton of people or virtually at the same time as other people. It's always a special experience.
And then my second quick question is because I think a lot of people shared this when we watched it, the jury who sort of decide the prizes and watched all 21 competition films, we sort of thought this was not long enough. And I know you've got plans, but was the was this could this have been 15 minutes? Did you want it to be 10? Were you under some kind of restrictions for that? Because 10, you watch that and you think, oh, I want to see more.
Good. That's the goal. The goal is that people should leave wanting to see more. Yeah, no, the script was originally a little bit longer. We cut some things out of the edit. just for the sake of brevity. We wanted the film to really be a fast-paced edit and feel like this ticking time bomb. So there were things that we had to cut out just for the sake of keeping the story as strong as possible.
Absolutely. Does anyone? Oh, no. Sarah's asking, what inspired you for this film? Good question.
What inspired me? Well, also my sister's in the audience. So this film was based on a real life experience that happened when my parents gathered my family to discuss the will. And so they gathered us all. They were going on this trip to Africa, and they decided to appoint my sister and brother as executor, and they left me and my other sister out of the will. So honestly, it was just the story felt ripe for taking, and the whole time it was happening, I felt like it had to be a film.
Absolutely. A question from Darcy. Did the film turn out how you originally planned it, or did you have to change a lot during the production process?
Hmm. Um, it turned out pretty close to how we planned it. There's always things that change, always. I think you're always editing, like even when a script is locked, like once you
Mm,
do a table read with the actors, we'll like tweak the lines. And to be honest, even after we've shot the film, like we're still sort of tweaking the script and going in and maybe adding some like ADR, which is like additional recording, voiceover lines. Um, so it's always changing, but I think overall it felt very close to what I had in mind for the film from the beginning.
yeah, absolutely. And so while we're, there's another question. Let's have a look. See you again. I really like how this is serious, chaotic, and funny at the same time. Was it difficult to find the right actors?
Well, thank you, first of all. Thanks. That's the
Mhm.
goal. So I'm glad that that came across. Yes, finding the right actors was one of the hardest parts, honestly. We went through so many different people. I think with families, it adds another layer because you want people to feel energetically linked, but I also wanted them to look physically alike. And like my biggest pet peeve is when I watch film or TV and the families don't look alike, and I'm not
Yeah.
convinced that they're actually a family. And so we really wanted it to feel like a family just visually. And then also they needed to really link up energetically. So we went through a lot of different rounds of casting and held different chemistry reads with different actors to, make sure that we had the right fit.
Yeah, I was just think there's one there. What's this next question? But I was just going to, yeah, the chemistry is there, certainly. And it does feel like these people have known each other for years, especially for a short film where you don't have any time to develop a backstory, it was like this just seems like a typical family scenario. Yeah. Holly, added to Robin's question about watching the film with other people, has anyone's reaction surprised you at all? And any moments that got more laughs than you expected, or there's more moments that resonated with people more than you thought there would?
Hmm. I mean, I think when we go to different screenings in person, and we're on sort of a little film festival tour right now, so it's fun to be
Mhm.
able to get to see that in person. It's always really fun for me to hear what people laugh to, and if it's the same moments that I laugh to. And most of the time it is, and that's validating. Not always, and sometimes people laugh at things that maybe you didn't think was funny. So it's always really interesting to see what audiences react to. And I've noticed that different regions geographically will respond to different things. Like in the East Coast, and I live in New York, and so I felt like the East Coast screenings had a little bit of a different vibe than like the Midwest screenings in the U.S. So I think that it's you know what we think is funny is so cultural. But I will say, we've screened this like all over the US, and we also just screened it in Italy in person. And I've been very surprised and like it's heartwarming to realize that what I think is a specific family dynamic based on my own family is actually quite universal. And it seems like cultures and people all over the world can relate to this, especially if you come from a loud family. But it doesn't seem to matter like where you're from or what your background is or what your culture, people from all different places have come up to me and said like, "Oh my God, this is my family."
Yeah,
So that's really
definitely.
fun just to like hear what feels universal and remember that remember that it's a lot more common than you may think.
Yeah. Um, Louise wants to ask, are there any films or series that inspired a specific style of filming and your writing as well?
Yeah, the writing, I didn't look at, it wasn't, honestly, the inspiration for the writing was my own family. I felt like growing up, families that I saw on screen were always really quiet and reserved and really polite to each other. And that's not how my family operates at all. Everybody talks over each other, it's very loud. And so I grew up being like, this isn't how a family is, or it's at least not how my family is. So I really just wanted to make something that really reflected that dynamic that I grew up with. But in terms of films that we were referencing while we were filming, we really looked at The Bear a lot for a TV show. I'm sure some of you guys
Mhm.
have heard of The Bear. Um, and there were a few other references. That was the main one, but there weren't. We were looking at Shiva Baby, sort of these like claustrophobic, loud family gatherings. But I couldn't find too many references that really had the style that I was looking for. So it always tends to be a little bit piecemeal from different places.
Yeah. It's amazing actually how much Shiver Baby as a modern piece of cinema is comes up in this festival alone. About three or four filmmakers have mentioned it as a a reference of inspiration. So, we've come a long way. I suppose my last question is a question because we're in a bit of a rush, but it's more of the directing because people do talk over each other all the time. And the only person I can think who was really good at that was Robert Altman. And we're going back many years. To put it onto cinema is almost near impossible. I mean, there's one bit where there are lots of funny bits, but where they talk about if she dies, you wouldn't notice. And everyone says something. And then the brother says, well, we'd notice. It's so funny. As a director, how do you direct overlapping dialogue like that? I mean, you write it is one thing, but then how do you overlap it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So all of the overlapping dialogue was scripted. So every time there was an interruption, there was an actual line break in the script. So it was there from the beginning. And even when we were doing the table reads, the chemistry reads, and the actors were rehearsing, we were trying to get that cadence of the interruptions happening in the exact right spots. So really, for me, it really starts with a script and making sure that that rhythm feels right. And then in filming, we ended up shooting some of the scenes we would shoot all the way through with all the actors, but for some of those like key moments where people are interrupting each other, we would shoot each actor individually, clean. So just
Okay.
like one character's lines at a time, then another character's. This way, in the edit, our editor, our sound designer had a little bit of wiggle room to play with the levels and make sure that like we didn't lose lines if, the interruption wasn't set at the exact right moment.
Yeah, it's a real achievement, Morgan. I mean, it's really good to have you back. I'm going to wrap it up, but I mean, I'll when we post the
Thank
interview
you.
and this, I would like to reference back to your animation that you used to do because I won't say you've grown, but you've certainly evolved and doing new things. And this is a sort of like a great film. And like, wish you the best of luck in the competition selection for Sunday, next Sunday. We
Thank
hopefully we'll
you.
see you there. But in the meantime, thank everyone for joining and thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And thanks so much for everyone for coming. I have no idea where anybody is. If you want to drop in the chat real quick where you live, I'm so curious who's
Yeah, yeah.
logging in. But thank you. It's my birthday and this
Got
is
some
really
birthday
fun
cakes
to be
there.
able
Look
to
at
get
that.
to share my film. Thanks. It's a fun time to get to share my film with people. So thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll speak again, no doubt. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks,
Thanks.
Robin. Thank you guys for coming.
Bye, everyone.